Greetings everyone and welcome back. So Bungie just released the official Taken King launch gameplay trailer. Now there's a lot of interesting bits in there that you probably didn't notice. And so I'm going to be analysing every single little detail and pointing out all the most interesting things that you may have missed. So firstly, this Titan on the right is wearing what I'm guessing is going to be an exotic helmet. Now it almost looks exactly like one of the helmets that the astronauts were wearing in the opening cutscene of Destiny when humans land on Mars for the first time. In the middle we have this warlock that's wearing the PlayStation exclusive armour Manifold Seeker. Now we've been seeing the PlayStation exclusive armour a lot in the recent trailers for the Taken King, which gives me a feeling that the PlayStation exclusive armour will be getting an upgrade in year 2, because right now it's only rare blue armour and so it's not really worth wearing. Either that or Bungie are marketing that the PlayStation exclusive armour will be coming to Xbox in the Taken King. Lastly, the Hunter on the left has a couple of interesting details. Firstly, this is the first time that we've seen that helmet and armour set, so this is probably going to be a new legendary set. Also, this Hunter is wearing the cape that comes with the Year 1 VIP rewards. But what's more interesting is the hand cannon that they're wielding. At first sight it just looks like an ordinary hand cannon, but upon closer inspection it has the same engravings on the side of the chamber as the last word. It even has the same model as the last word. The only difference is that this one is white and it doesn't have the same engravings all the way down the barrel, just on the chamber. Now this could just be a regular hand cannon that happens to have the same model as the last word, but I have a theory that this could be the Year 2 version of the last word. So at the launch of the Taken King, only a few Year 1 exotics are being upgraded to Year 2. For example, the Year 2 version of Soros Regime is going to be black instead of white. And so since the last word is being upgraded to Year 2, the last word could also be getting a paint job just like Soros Regime. The only problem with that is that the Year 2 version of the last word still has the same colours in the preview image. So I guess we'll just have to wait and find out more. Moving on, there are 3 things I noticed in this shot. Firstly, this Hunter is wearing a cape without a hood. Secondly, this Warlock is wearing what appears to be some new exotic boots for the Stormcaller subclass. You can tell they're exotic because they have this sort of fragmented glowing effect around the shins and knees. And thirdly, this Titan has the Hammer of Sol on their waist. The hammer on the waist is part of the class item that you get as part of the Year 1 VIP rewards, and you can see it right here in this promotional image. Here I just wanted to point out the back of this Hunter's cape. It has fallen symbols on it, so this is a fallen cape. Now here there's quite a few things to go over that might not be so obvious at first sight. So firstly, let's go over the obvious. This Hunter cape right here. A lot of people are speculating that this may be an exotic Hunter cape. Well, this is actually the cape of a Scion Flare. And in case you don't know what a Scion Flare is, they're the bosses that you fight at the end of the Dust Palace strike. Speaking of strikes, I have a theory that this could be a strike specific reward. In the Bungie weekly update, Bungie mentioned that in the Taken King, strikes will now drop strike specific rewards, and so this cape could drop from the Dust Palace strike. Now this could explain the fallen cape we saw a moment ago. This could be a strike specific reward from the Devil's Lair strike. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's take a look at some of the smaller details that you may not have noticed. Firstly, this Hunter appears to be wielding a new exotic heavy machine gun, and if you look closely, it has void energy running along the gun, so hopefully this means that we'll finally be getting another void exotic. Next, this Warlock also has a bayonet on the end of their auto rifle, similar to Red Death. I doubt we'll get to use it, but it's just there for cosmetics. We also get to see a little bit more of these exotic Warlock boots. Here we get to see more of this exotic Warlock helm. Now this Warlock is currently a Void Walker, obviously, and the energy inside this helmet appears to resemble Void energy, so I have a feeling that this helmet is going to be for the Void Walker, although we don't know for certain. It could turn out to be a subclass neutral helmet. What the actual fuck? So this is what is probably the King's Fall raid armour for the Titan. And the helmet appears to be based off Alak Hull, the massive hive knight that wields an axe that we'll face at the end of the Sunless Cell strike. This Titan's also wielding what appears to be a new exotic arc sniper rifle. I will say it looks rather unique and looks almost like something out of Borderlands. Next we see this Warlock on the end of this structure. Now it looks as though this is part of the quest where you unlock the Stormcaller subclass. Next we see this Hunter wearing what is possibly an exotic chest piece. We don't know for certain if this is an exotic, but it looks like it could be. And finally we have this Hunter helmet. It looks rather different to the helmets that we've seen, but I don't think that it's going to be an exotic. It doesn't look unique enough to be an exotic to me. Now that we've got all that stuff out the way, let's move on to talking about some of the cutscenes we saw. So firstly, as we know, Erismon will play a big role in the Taken King story, and so we can see her here in this cutscene. Next we see the shot of the Queen's Ketch being destroyed by the blast created by the Dreadnought. We know it's one of the Queen's Ketches because it has the Queen's logo on the top and side. In this next shot we see a dead Awoken floating through space. I assume this is the aftermath of the blast created by the Dreadnought, and in the background there you can even see a destroyed Awoken fighter. Now we don't know if this is Petrovenge or one of the Queen's regular guards, but as we learned in Game Informer's recent podcast with Bungie mentioned that we'll see the Awoken's perspective of Oryx's arrival, and that Petrovenge will have her own story, describing it as a, quote, long adventure. And finally, this one's for the lore whores out there like myself. Here we see a new cutscene of the Queen, but what we want to focus on is these three figures in the background. Now in case you didn't know, according to Grimoire, these are the Techians, or Techuans, or Teshians, however you pronounce it. The Techians are essentially special Awoken characters that have special abilities. For example, they, as well as the Queen, can hear these mysterious voices that no one else can hear, and they have some sort of technology implanted throughout their body. There's even a fusion rifle named after them, called Techian Force, that can drop in Prison of Elders. Its description reads, "A Techian's body shimmers with electronic implants and augments." So there you go, those are the most interesting bits. If I did point out a few things you didn't notice, please let me know in the comments because I'm trying to get a gauge for how useful these trailer breakdowns are. So thank you very much for watching, subscribe for more Taken King news if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you next time, Guardians.
Send in the cavalry.